Dude. Don't be rude.
FBI, open up!
All week long.
That's right. All rise. Order in the freaking court. Are we at the double dirty or is this the double?
This is the double dirty. They've just widened out the shot now. We can even see that chair that says jury.
There's so many of these courts that look almost exactly the same. Some doesn't even have any markings on the one door, and the other side is super dirty, and you just never know.
They've reserved a lot of seats, it looks like, for dignitaries over there. I'm not sure.
I saw there was a chase last night that went on for a while. It was very dark.
I think they lost them.
It was very
didn't catch them.
Taco. Tuesday.
Not too upset that we missed that.
Who's handsome? F you. You guys are too funny. Anyways, welcome to We Got a Case. For some reason, wasn't up there. Now it is. See up there in the corner?
Yeah.
Didn't know what was going on there.
I didn't know where we were for a second, but now I know. We're in We Got a Case. Gotcha.
That's right. We Got a Case live Zoom court drama and some just live streaming out of the court, like here at the Double Dirty. Sarah with 2 R's. Always great to see you.
Good to see you, Sarah.
Facebook user, any Facebook user that comes in here, his name is now Alonzo. No matter what.
No matter who it is,
you're
Alonzo. Before we get started, make sure you do us a favor and like this if you haven't already done so. That helps us out a lot.
Please. YouTube hates us. Facebook hates us.
Yeah, we're not doing good.
It's what it is. We just keep chugging along.
It'll get better. Always does.
It always does. Laura in Michigan, great to see you. And Angela, hello there. All right. So jump around a little bit. Not a whole lot going on here, Mikey. So if you've got something, let's you got cowlitz ready?
We're gonna go on over.
Okay, Council, Ms. Card's got 2 cases on. She was taken into custody on a new Superior Court charge. And so her case has been the pretrial was canceled or changed from this afternoon to this morning. I'm showing that this should be on for competency review, not for pretrial. Counsel, do you see that also?
Yeah.
She looks competent to me.
Pretrial. When do we want a review on this?
Sad, I wasn't sure.
Well, that's a good question. She was in custody when the review was scheduled. They weren't able to get in and see her because I don't know if she was in COVID protocol or whatever happened. And then all of a sudden we found that she was out of custody. So I don't believe the evaluation's even been conducted yet.
Right. Why don't we set this for review in?
Because we're going to have
do it 3 weeks.
Let's do that. Because we're going to have to get a hold of Western and let them know she's back in and find out if we have to do a new order.
Right. I'm going to set this for review on August 30th.
Not here, man.
At
Is it a man bun?
Or 1
Looks
p.m.
slippery.
if she gets out.
Is it a man bun back there?
And
That's
10
Post Malone.
if she's still in custody.
I'm sorry, what was that? August what?
Sorry.
30th. That's 3 weeks. Okay. At 1 p.m. We've got to have you back August 30th at 1 p.m. If you're out of custody. If you're in custody, they'll bring you in up at 10. And we'll note that these are on for competency review, not for pretrial. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Card.
Thank you. I can sit down right there.
She's not competent, Creed.
We have next.
Roger Curiel.
Thank you.
Robert Perel. Oh, here he comes, Robert. It's got got a ride and everything.
Okay. Man spreading.
And Roger Edward Curiel, correct?
Are we in session? Yes, that's my name. Are we in session?
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay,
that.
I've requested medical attention because I've sustained injuries. I've sustained a concussion. I lost consciousness. I've been denied medical attention because I've asked my arresting officer, the transporting officer, the corrections officer. They're trying to get me medication that I don't normally take for antidepressants. I took 1 dose of medication here last time, and it didn't play well for me.
Can I talk for a minute?
And that's all. I just want to make sure because I want to be heard instead of ignored.
Okay, I've heard you. Now let me talk just for a couple minutes, Mr. Curio. The court's found probable cause to hold you on a charge of trespassing a second degree, obstructing a public servant, resisting arrest.
What about the trash?
Wait a minute, it's
There was four
my
charges.
turn to talk. My turn to talk.
I'm not trying to interrupt, but there was 4 charges.
My turn to talk first, then you'll get your chance. The trespass to and resisting are misdemeanors with maximum sentences of 90 days and $1,000 plus assessments. The obstructing is a gross misdemeanor, maximum 360.
So me waiting for the train when it's
my
closed
turn.
is.
Still my turn.
And that's why we have a pause button. Thank you. Sarah with 2 R's. Name so great. Thank you for 2 R's. Thank you. 50 bones.
Trespass.
Still my turn, Mr. Curiel.
That's trespassing me waiting for the train.
My turn. Obstructing a public servant, that's a gross misdemeanor, maximum 364 and a $5,000 fine plus assessments. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney of your own choosing, and if you cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed at no expense to you. You're presumed innocent unless the prosecutor proves the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to a speedy trial, which is 60 days from arraignment if in custody, or 180 days from readiness if out of custody. You have a right to a jury trial. You have a right to hear and question the prosecutor's witnesses. You have a right to testify on your own behalf, call your own witnesses, and compel witnesses to appear at no expense to you. You have the right to remain silent. Your exercise of that right cannot be used against you. You have the right to disqualify up to 1 judge if you do so in a timely manner, and if you're found guilty at trial.
Can I have a change of venue?
I'm not quite done yet. You have the right to appeal, provided a notice of appeal is filed in a timely manner, and a guilty plea waives all of these rights. Counsel. And finally, if you are not a citizen of the United States, you have the right to consult with an immigration attorney because criminal conviction for a non-citizen could result in deportation from the United States, exclusion from admission to the United States, or denial of naturalization pursuant to the laws of the United States. Now, Mr. Curiel, I'm going to appoint. Okay. I'm going to appoint the Grimm Law Group to represent you in this case. I still need an attorney application. And you're pleading not guilty, correct? Those not guilty pleas will be entered on each one of these charges. Now, I'm going to
I'd
hear.
like to be released on my PR or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about right now. I'm going to hear from the prosecutor. I'm going to hear from the defense. We also have your other case on, one where you posted bail and $1,000.
It has nothing to do with this case because of trespassing. Somebody's got to call and say, hey, he's
I understand.
trespassing.
Yeah, give me a second. The issue is, has he violated his conditions of release on that case? Mr. File.
Your Honor, just if I can have a moment, I spoke extensively with Estelle
I don't think they said
Flores
it. Went through
yesterday.
all the
and she-
different things,
What's
if
that?
I'm not mistaken, right?
Say that one more time.
As far as what he's being charged with, I don't think that the judge said. I think he just rattled off a bunch of.
It didn't. I mean, the charges didn't sound all that. I heard resisting arrest and that kind of thing, but it seemed like he had done something like maybe trespassing or I don't know. Just really didn't seem like nothing crazy, but he's obviously, a little bit out there. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
Whoa. Stop the clock.
He gave me some context for what his.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, I was worried about that because you just backed up alive, right?
Yeah. Had to back it up to see it.
Oh, well. No Niner, but we got Adrian. Yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian.
And Julia.
I've looked at Mr. Park's criminal history. I'm going to need to hear from both.
I don't know, Julia. Do we know her?
Parks.
No, Julia Jordan. Looking
At
good.
this time, I'm not going to accept the consent.
Great
We'll
board
move
name, by the
forward.
way.
It is.
So I will hear from you all. I may decide to accept it, but Ms. Jordan, I'll hear from you first.
Your Honor, Mr. Parks is 31 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He does not have any ties anywhere else. He has 3 children aged 10, 9, and 3. He is their primary financial supporter, and the 3-year-old lives with him. Mr. Parks currently lives in Atlanta with his mother. That is the same address that he has lived at his entire life. He works at Parks Lawn Care Service. He's been working there for the last 8 years, so he has an incredibly stable work history. He also has his GED, which he earned in 2014.
Incredible.
My understanding based on the
Stable
information provided by the
history.
state was that Mr. Parks does not have a criminal history. I'm not sure if Your Honor has information other than that. However,
Is Mr. Patrick leaving a cheesecake factory right now?
And his obligations to his family, we would ask that you grant him a bond today in the amount of $1,000.
Okay. ADA SAP, let me share with you all what I have. I have that he does have a criminal history.
No.
And maybe we will revisit him at the end of the calendar to verify that we've got the right Mr. Parks, but I've got a criminal
Pine Cutter, that's
history.
the other thing too, is nobody has a
2012
place where you can
theft by
send
shooting,
mail to.
Driving without a license, fleeing, criminal damage to property, and obstruction. 2012, robbery, theft by taking, possession of a firearm, by a convicted
Julia
felon.
Jordan,
2019,
dropping the ball.
violation of probation. 2019, violation of probation. 2021, violation of probation. 2 more counts of violation of probation in 2021. 2020, theft by receiving 2 counts. There are 4 pending cases that are open, according
Thank you,
to what I've
Deborah.
seen.
I'll take that off the books.
2020, February, forgery, pending case from November.
It just
sorry,
keeps going.
September of 2021.
Didn't she
by
just say that
taking-
he didn't have like any
criminal
record?
history.
Bringing 2
Yeah.
counts, hit and run 2 counts,
My God.
pointing a
Hello,
laser
Gary.
device
That's
at
my buddy,
a
Gary.
government official, interference
What
with
up?
government
Gary from
property,
Chicago.
aggravated assault. November of 2021, fleeing, license suspension, driving on a suspended license. February of 2021, criminal attempt to commit a felony. So
Seriously, did Julia just
Try
not,
again.
did Julia not, did she miss all of that or?
Attorney Sapp, if I am mistaken and we've pulled the wrong Mr. Parks, I will consider that, I'll consider you all's consent. But in light of the criminal history that I've got in front of me, I cannot accept the negotiated bond that you all have come
So
up with.
no $1,000 bond.
Oh my
So, Attorney
God.
Sapp, are you able to verify? Are you able to pull a record for Mr. Parks?
Your Honor, I double checked the criminal history that our office pulled, and I think we may have used the wrong birth date. I will ask our office to run the history again. And if we can circle back.
How
to
about we
this
just
case
ask
at the end
him?
of The calendar, that would be great.
Possible.
We sure will. So, Mr. Parks, just have a seat and we'll come back to you. And Attorney Sapp, if you need a moment to talk with him, we can probably make arrangements for that as well.
I'm sorry.
I'm
you
sorry,
guys.
Attorney Jordan.
She's amazing at
All
her
right.
job. Sorry.
It wasn't just her. ADA SAP blew it too. So
That's a good
Who do we
point.
have?
they went down together.
Patrick, who are you here for?
Yes, I'm here for
Hello there,
Isaiah Powell.
I hate this because now I want to
Stationary
wait
somewhere,
until the
you
end
move.
to see if this dude was
We'll hold for you.
Gotta
which
find
one
out.
it
now.
is.
I'm stationary, sir.
Okay.
I'm stationary now. We're about to pull over in a second, but I'm stationary right now.
Okay. When you say you're about to pull over, that doesn't sound like you're stationary. You got to be stationary, not moving.
We're at a stoplight right now. So
Okay. We'll come back to you once you are parked and not moving.
Off to
Okay.
a great
we're in
start
a
there.
spot. Okay, I'll let you know. when-
Oh, hold on. I've been drinking. I got to pull over.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other private attorneys here?
I'm stationary right now. I'm about to pull over, Your Honor.
You stupid bastard.
And Attorney Sapp, who did Mr. Patrick say he was here for? Which position?
Number 6, Your Honor, number 6.
Thank you.
If you listen real closely, you can hear Julia, who has turned around in her office, and she's now got a spot on her head from banging it against the wall right now.
She's had a bad day.
Dun, 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 dun.
Axum really dealing with some bullshit today.
All right, let's move to Antarius Brown.
Yeah, we're not. This usually flows
very tight
fast with everybody that's in here, typically. Oh, Julia's back. I told you not she had to cover up that spot
right,
with some
Mr.
of that.
Brown.
What's that stuff called? The amino, whatever the
concealer.
Yeah, thank you. That Amber Turd uses.
I thought he said we're
All right,
about to
Mr.
pull over.
Brown, you are charged in warrants, sequence 4 of them, starting with 22W012381. You're charged with possession of methamphetamine.
Hold on while I click at her ticket, Joanna.
Possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession of a gun during the commission of a felony.
Pew
Do
pew.
you understand those charges against you? Is that a yes? Okay.
That's not just a yes, that's a yes, sir.
Attorney Jordan, I will hear from you.
Thank you for finishing my sentence,
Yes,
Kay.
Your Honor, Mr. Brown is
Yes.
31 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He currently lives in Riverdale, Georgia, where he has been for the last 7 months. He has a 6-year-old daughter. His daughter lives with him on weekends, and he is very involved in her life. He picks her up from school every day.
No need to cry,
And
Julia.
he's extremely involved in her school. He volunteers frequently at events. She's about to start the first grade.
Uh-huh.
Mr. McLean works 2 jobs.
Two.
He is an engineer and
Tuesday.
a forklift driver. The first of those jobs he has
An
had for the
engineer.
last 15 years, and the
Okay.
other one he has been doing for 5 years.
just
So a
gonna
very
ask.
stable work history. He is a high school graduate.
The stable work history worked so well in the last
Looking
one. She just
at his criminal
doubled down
history, my understanding is that his criminal history is relatively limited. Considering all of that, we would ask today that you set a bond in his case in the amount of no more than $5,000.
An engineer.
All right, and Attorney Sapp, you don't have to wait. When she's done, you can hop right in. So go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. The state's recommendation.
You're on
will
a
be
first day today,
7,500,
Miss
and
Sapp.
a special condition of no firearms. Mr. Brown has 5 cycles in Georgia. I wasn't able to find a felony conviction, but he was convicted twice under the First Offender Act. The first time in Clayton in 2015
How do you
for
get
theft by taking.
twice
Second time
under
in
the First
Fulton in
Offender Act?
2017 for theft by taking. In this case, the state is concerned about the amount of drugs located along with a loaded firearm under the driver's seat. So we recommend a high bond of 7,500 in this case and a special condition of no firearms.
Maggie, pull up Judge Fink, will you?
Okay.
All right.
case
Mr. Brown, I am going
recommendation.
to grant a bond. It's going to be $2,100.
Herman, but we'll leave Herman.
It's going to be $500 on the first 2 counts, $100 on the marijuana possession. and
I was kinda thinking that too,
$1,000
bud.
on the possession of the firearm. As a special condition, you're not to have any firearms until this case is resolved. Any firearms that you do have or own or that are in the house shall be turned over to the sheriff until this case is
All right,
concluded.
Fink is up.
Same.
She
Seeing
said,
that that might
I don't know who,
not be a possibility to be changed today, as that was Judge Tabby's order.
I'm willing to give a
That
10% on Judge Tabby's. He did not authorize a 10%, but I think that.
Is he okay?
That's appropriate,
fine.
given the effort made to immediately try to recall that. So it's 25,000 with the right to post 10%. The probable cause conference will be on August 18th at 9 a.m. So you need 2,500, Mr. Ramos. The court
Thank
date will be next Thursday, the 18th, and all of the
I don't
previous
know, does
conditions.
Wolverine
continue.
cry?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else
Yeah,
on
he's
this matter?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay.
He knows he don't have
Mr. Ramos, I know
$2,500.
you're stressed out. If you need to hang out in there for a second and get yourself together, that's fine. Okay, when you're ready,
I
just
want
stand
everybody
up
else
and
in
they'll let you
Chelsea
out,
to
all right?
cry.
Okay, thank you.
Don't cry in
You're
front of the
welcome.
other prisoners. They'll find that as weakness, and well, you know what happens when they see weakness. Things happen, Creed. Things happen.
Oh, he really is going to take the time. Look at this. This is a moment.
Enjoy it.
A nice moment of
Good luck to you, Mr.
Judge
Ramos.
Fankin.
Mm-hmm.
Have a second.
He's immediately jumped and beat to death right after walking out the door.
He's already shanked. He's dead. He just got stabbed like the guy we saw on we got a chase yesterday. We'll go back. Don't worry. Don't worry. We will.
Oh,
Hello, could you state your name, please?
Jesse Ridley.
Jesse, would you like to come in here and cry a little bit?
That was a nice
Okay,
moment.
Mr. Ridley, you have 2 files here today, 1 felony, 1 misdemeanor. To start with your contact information, I'm showing you on Jackson Road in lot 369 in the Sile Farms. Is that a good place for you to get mail from the court?
Yes, ma'am.
No email, but you did give a phone number
DV.
today, is that right?
Yes.
Is it okay if the court uses your phone number to contact you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. So as I said, 2 files here, State of Michigan versus Jesse Ridley, 22F11161 and 2240374. I have received a petition requesting a court-appointed lawyer. I will sign that. You may proceed when you are ready, Ms. Apple.
Thank you, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Ridley. I did review both of those complaints, so we'll waive reading of those charges and stand mute.
All right, you may address bond when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. I understand that I read both of the bond forms with Mr. Ridley. He is not on probation or parole. Other than these 2 matters, he has no other pending cases. I did note on the bond form, it discussed the PPO. I haven't been able to verify that, but I know that the underlying case was dismissed in that. Mr. Ridley said that he has paperwork from the judge that the PPO was dismissed as well in May because they have a child together.
I don't believe that that's true, Mr. Ridley.
I have it, Your Honor. I could send you guys pictures of it or send it in get my email.
I'm looking at the that is still in lien. So let me look somewhere else and see if we can find it in Odyssey.
Your Honor, they dropped that back in like middle-ish of June.
It is still showing as active in the law enforcement information network. I'm going to look in Odyssey and see if I can find that. Go ahead, Ms. Apple.
Yeah. So like I said, that was his understanding of that the judge stated that he would dismiss it because of the child that they have, that he has in common with Miss McDonald. Other than that, he is employed full time at like he does have a newborn and another child that he is the only one that's working to provide for those children. There's no objection to either of the no contact orders. Mr. Ridley knows that he won't be able to return to his home on the Jackson Road address. He has a friend that he's going to have to call after court if released to stay with them, and he'll provide an address if and when released to the court of where he would be staying.
So there was a domestic violence case that was charged and dismissed in Westland in June.
Yes, that was the PPO was dismissed the same day too.
The PPO is through Washtenaw County, I believe.
You guys are wrong.
The one was out of Westland from the court on Ford Road.
Write it down, Mikey.
But I have the paperwork in a folder in my car whenever the judge dismissed it, so I was able to be around my son.
We take those IOUs very serious, Emma.
It's out of Wayne County.
You're on the books, Pamela.
See in my computer whether.
Got you down, Pamela.
I'm sure you guys can contact Mrs. McDonald too.
Okay. That doesn't help me. The problem is that the law enforcement information network, which is what the police officers look at to decide whether there's a violation of the PPO, is showing an active personal protection order as of today at 11:30. This has been in effect since the end of March.
Ish.
Is there a number of a case number for that PPO?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
22103-626 PP.
Okay.
Check your PP.
I searched Wayne County, the circuit court. That one's not showing. There was another matter that showed dismissed, but I'm not able to verify the status of the PPO. I don't see it listed. I thought maybe it would.
We were running so good, and now this dude has pissed off.
Your Honor, would I be able to just go with the conditions of a, say, normal PPO and just no contact?
Yeah, I don't know yet, all right? I know that's what you want.
Hello, hello.
Go ahead, Ms. McDuffie.
Thank you, Your Honor. So with respect to these two cases, I did want to clarify the address information because the domestic violence case that was authorized this morning by myself actually has that Jackson Road address. I'm not clear, but
it's a different victim.
It is. So I'm not clear. It looks as if the Jackson Road address is that Mr. Ridley's sister? Is he staying with his sister at that address? Because the victim, okay, the complaining witness in the DV case has two different addresses listed. There's the address where the assault took place, and then there's a different home address listed. So I just wanted to clarify, if he's staying with his sister at Jackson Road, then it should be fine if the complaining witness is not staying there and go somewhere else. But I wasn't sure about where everybody was living.
No.
Mr. Ridley did tell me that is his he just paid rent to his sister, so I believe that is his sister's
I can call her and tell her.
address, but I'm not sure if
does Miss Davis live there with you and your sister?
No, she just stays there periodically with us.
Yeah,
but I can
right here.
She has her own
Very
home
strong
someplace else, but she sometimes spends the night at your place.
She stays in Pinckney.
Okay.
It's a flop house.
Okay, so I may have requested a no-go to that address, not being clear about that arrangement. So it's fine if the no-go to doesn't need to refer to the Jackson Road address if in fact Ms. Davis is
That guy right over there, the Baldy.
Okay.
Is that what we got from all this, girl? Bishop is right down there in a purple. Miss that. Bishop Apple.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
After whatever date, there'll be no more bad mail.
Felony.
Rapid peace and love, by the
4343
way.
Concourse Drive is what?
I don't know.
Because that's not the address for.
You're muted, McDuffie.
That's not alleged assault, Your Honor. I was with
Sir, I'm asking what the address is. What is at that address? I know it's an alleged assault.
That's a business.
Okay. So Miss
How does he
McDonald,
know? But might be a bottom.
No.
Might.
She lives in Westland.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to give you a personal bond today. I know you.
No problem, Steph.
No, we're just messing with this. I'm Creedence, that's Mikey.
If I miss
The old radio show is Creedence Bishop show, so I can
Defendant
understand.
strangled and punched the victim
confusion.
in front
Trust
of their small child. That's what you're
Deal with
accused
it
of
daily.
doing.
Honor, I wasn't even with her that day. I have the proof in my phone.
Wow.
Welcome. Make sure to subscribe button.
She's
Notifications
just
on.
pulling my phone and calling me and texting me all day, and I just ignored her. I did not see her that day.
Hi, Sarge.
I swear.
Okay. I'm not going to take your word for that.
Okay. So he's trying to throw her under bus, saying she's the one violating the PPO, not him. It's all her.
He's trying to, work it, as they say.
Oh, Lincoln's a great guy. Great guy.
I have a police report and a prosecutor's bond recommendation, and Magistrate Cameron authorized the charges, so.
I
I'm
don't think
sorry,
you
I don't have a
understand
police
that.
report, I have criminal charges and a statement from the police.
Hey,
There's a lot of. Go ahead, Mr. Ridley, say everything you want to say so that then I can talk without you interrupting me. Go.
I'm gonna lose my job.
You knew that was coming. I mean, she's been very
nothing else to get me in trouble
good
again.
with them.
All right, I'm done. Sorry.
You're done? All right. On
Okay.
each file, I'm setting a bond. The reason that I'm setting a bond is one of the things that bond has two components. One is whether the defendant is a flight risk. The other is whether the defendant is a danger to the community. You're here in front of me today, Mr. Ridley, with 2 assault charges against 2 different women with a personal protection order that you appear to have violated. I understand you believe that that doesn't exist. That's not what the file says. And a domestic violence case that was just dismissed in June. So this is August. In the last, I don't know, 4 months, you've had a PPO, a DV, and now 2 more DVs, one of which is a felony. So I think that you are dangerous to the community and also a flight risk. Go ahead.
Everything got thrown out, and there was no, like, they said I didn't do nothing wrong. Even Miss McDonald said on record that I never hit her.
Okay,
That's
domestic violence does not require physical contact. So in the felony, I'm setting the bond at $3,000 with the right to post 10%. You're not to have any contact with Tara McDonald. You're not to go to 5710 North Harvey Street in Westland. No contact means you can't reply if she tries to contact you. It also means that you can't use social media or a third party to contact her on your behalf. You understand what no contact means?
Yes, sure.
2 times.
No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. No criminal behavior, no assaultive behavior. The probable cause conference will be August 18th at 9 a.m. over what? August 18th, 9 a.m. over Zoom. On the misdemeanor 2240374, the bond is $2,000 with the right to post 10%. So you need a total of $500 to leave the jail.
Stephanie's down there, which I think is
while you're on bond,
insane.
you
Should
are
be
not
more.
to have any contact with the alleged victim in this matter, Madison Davis. You're not to go to her address in Pinckney, 5676 Lawrence Court in Pinckney. And then all of those other things that I listed: no drugs, no alcohol, no marijuana, no firearms, weapons, ammunition, no criminal behavior, no assaultive behavior, no leaving the state of Michigan without permission of the court. And the court date for this one will be in person. Is that what you're making a noise about?
Oh, she's
Well, he's going to be in custody. Well, if he posts the bond.
She's so pissed.
Do you think you're going to be able to post that bond?
I want to try. I was going to ask the attorney if she might be able to contact my employer. I only have like $300 in my property. I really don't have to spend. I was supposed to get my daughter diapers stuff. I was supposed to do it this morning.
Yes.
You're not going to have contact with your daughter right now, probably.
I can always give money to my sister. I don't even know how I'm going to do this now.
Okay.
It's my job, Your Honor, and I'm not going to be able to pay nothing.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'll drop off some
we
diapers.
requested, at least on the DV case, I don't know if the court would consider a GPS tether, and the reason why is because I didn't request a surety bond, but what's concerning is that Mr. Ridley keeps making reference to whether or not that is the case about a previous case that may have been dismissed without regard for the fact that these are new charges. And so his evidence for the fact that he should be released is this older case was dismissed, and the fact that we have these two different victims. So we don't object to conditional release, but at the same time, the felony case, even if that PPO was no longer in existence on that date, that doesn't make those allegations any better, because that would have occurred after he believed that the PPO was no longer in effect. So I don't know if the court is willing to consider a GPS tether or home confinement that may still allow him to work. But we just felt like there needed to be an additional layer of protection for both of these witnesses.
Well, I've set a bond.
He's
So
got
you're
a streak
saying
of
that
bad
even
luck of
if you
people
post the
saying
bond, you want
he
to
beat
tether.
them up, Creed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to tether him to his house, because if he
Not
can
today,
post the bond
Taco,
and keep
not
his
today.
job, that's better for everyone. Where do you work?
AAA Parts and Towing at Ipsy. Work for Billy and Sal Salami.
Under the table, of course, Your Honor.
They're the owners of the junkyard.
Is that
Dave,
the only
thank you for
place
the
that
two
you need
bones.
to go for work? You just go to their junkyard and stay there, or do you have to drive around?
I mean, if I have to drive, I'll be driving a postal service truck either back to Belleville or Ipsy.
Your Honor, I'm a professional junkyard dog. They come and pick me up. They let me wander the place. I shit and piss all over the place. Yeah, so basically that I'm at the junkyard all the time.
They got a contract with the
My
United States
diapers,
Postal
just throw them in
Service.
the yard, Your Honor. It's no big
I have a valid license, which requires me, if they need me to take a mail truck there, when that's done, I bring one back for service. No, that was when we're like short staffed over there.
Yes.
I mean, I work there, but I mean, I don't know if I can't get a hold of my employer today or whatever. And
I know. I understand what your situation is. You've told me 6 times. You just keep talking and saying the same thing. I heard it. Okay.
And she's already set a bond.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a way that protects the
The public.
community, specifically these 2 women, and is not unduly burdensome to you. All right. I'm trying to figure it out, but you don't need to keep saying the same thing to me. I've heard it.
Kate's always
You can
good
say-
luck when
you
she
can
sings
answer my
this stuff.
questions, and
You
you can
notice that?
say anything that is new that you have not already said.
Yeah.
Promise I'll stay away from everybody and just work. If I have to, I'll sleep in my parking lot at work. I really can't afford to lose this job right now. If I do, I'm gonna be screwed. I'll sleep in my work parking lot in my car.
They're in serious need of help. I doubt you're going to lose your job. So
They're
that kind of goes
understaffed.
against what you just said.
They're busy hiring
Okay.
people who have
You have
domestic
$300
violence charges
available
against
to you right now while you are in custody.
Yes.
Yeah, he seems
Okay.
like a real dick.
I have $250 on my card, and then I have another 60 bucks on my property thing that they ran through.
All right, let's do this then.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you a personal bond on the misdemeanor.
Okay.
We'll keep the felony set at the 3,010%. I'm ordering a GPS tether with home confinement to the Scio Farms address, except you may go to court and work. Okay?
She's
I'm not
backing up.
authorizing you to drive a truck while you're at work. Okay? So you may go to work and be at that location, and then you go back home at the end of your workday. And you can drive to court,
He's trusted.
and you can go back home at the end of court.
Have anything like go to the grocery store at all, or have someone else do it?
No groceries. DoorDash.
I'm maybe you don't, maybe you're not listening to what I'm saying, okay?
Go back on it. Go back to where you originally were, Fink, please.
All right, we'll do that.
$10,000 bond.
on. Oh, I hate that. When she budged
You're on-
like she
will they put
did,
that tether on today?
Yes.
and then he comes back with stupid shit. Makes me nuts.
Mr. Ridley, is your work off East Michigan Ave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If I give you the number, did you call my boss? And I mean, if you could tell him that I have the money, I could pull out my card whenever I get out. If he could come down and bail me out.
Yeah, I can make a phone call for you.
We've seen that
Okay.
before.
Because I don't know if you'll answer this thing. I tried to call and beat it.
Like get a little triggered, and then the next like
All right, tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead.
734-377-0446. And his name is Dave.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ridley, I don't want you to talk anymore, okay? I'm trying to do your arraignment.
Dave, do not bail Mr. Ridley out, no matter what they
keep your mouth
say.
shut. Okay. GPS tether with home confinement. The exceptions are
she's not one to
you have to
usually-
appear there in person.
Very rare.
And
Especially
work
somebody that's pissed her off.
at AAA salvage. Is that it? You can answer that
Sorry,
question.
kid.
Okay.
Is your grandma down cleaning up the basement right now and she can hear? Or did you break your headphones the other day?
Look at her.
Check in, be there, and he can use their access. His PC there, so he can bolt port days while he's there.
All right, that sounds good. Okay. Backing up. I'm going to go over the bond conditions again, then we're going to talk about how you're going to appear. So on the felony, no contact with Tara McDonald. No contact means you cannot initiate contact. You cannot reply. If she tries to contact you, you cannot use social media or a third party to deliver a message to
seen him in
her.
3 years.
If there are specific items or money that you need to get to her as part of your child support arrangement, you may give that to someone to deliver to her, but you should not be using anybody as a go-between to discuss this case.
What about the social
If
media?
it looks
and all
like
that?
you are trying to manipulate
should
Ms.
tell them the first
McDonald
thing
by
she said.
talking to her about the case and requesting that she not show up or that she testify in a certain way, that can bring new charges of witness tampering. to
Less
you.
than 48
Seeing you
hours,
again
he's
and they're
back
Not
in it.
letting you go. Okay. So do not speak
Yeah,
to her
he's a
for
repeat
any
offender. He's
reason
going to do it again to
about
someone else if he
anything.
doesn't F this
Do not
up.
go to Miss McDonald's address, 5710 North Harvey Street in Westland, Michigan for any reason. You are not to use alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. No purchase or possession of firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. No criminal behavior, no assaultive behavior. Your court date will be August 18th at 9 a.m. over Zoom. I'm going to come back to that. Do you have any questions about the felony? And you have a GPS tether with home confinement. So I'm ordering the tether on both cases. It's still only one tether, of course.
Let's put a
GPS
couple on
tether
them.
home confinement with two exceptions. One is to appear in court
No butt
in
chugging.
Saline. And the other is to go to work. So when you get that tether put on today, you're going to let the tether providers know what your work schedule is and let them know what your court date is.
Okay. Would I be able to ask the officers when I get out here if I can get my card and buy my cell phone?
Say that again. What do you need to do?
I'm all done here, Your Honor. Would I be able to ask the officers if they can get my property, get my debit card so I can buy my cell phone?
Yeah, sure. The jail doesn't work for me, so I'm not telling you anything about what they can or cannot do, but yes, they can help you get your card.
Oh, shirtless
You
dad.
can pay your
I'm
bond.
sure they'll be more than happy to help you out. Salt of the earth. Pillar of the community.
Boy, he is so lucky and doesn't even realize it.
Oh, she even
Okay.
went back on
On the
couple of things.
Yeah.
felony. No, we're done with the felony. On the misdemeanor, no contact with Madison Davis. No contact includes replying to her if she contacts you. It also includes having a third party deliver a message to her from you. It includes
Yeah, can I call
going
her
to
about her
address on
extended
Lawrence
warranty?
Court in Pinckney, using social media to have contact with her, replying if she tries to contact you. You have a GPS tether in this case also with the same conditions, home confinement in Scio Farms, except for going to court in Saline and working at the AAA Salvage on Michigan Avenue. No alcohol, marijuana, illegal drugs, no purchase or possession of firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. No assaultive behavior, no criminal behavior.
No stopping at the
Any
grocery.
questions about the bond conditions on this case?
No, Your Honor.
You can only eat what they
Court date
DoorDash
for
from
the
Dollar
misdemeanor
General.
is also August 18th at 9
What are
a.m.
your
So that one
out-of-date
is,
Mountain
I'm
Dew
giving
today?
you 2 court dates for the same time on the same day. And this is how you're going to handle that. The misdemeanor, you need to appear in person in Saline. So you're going to actually take your body to the courthouse in
Your dead
Saline
body.
at 9 a.m.
I like how
next
she's
Thursday
talking
to
to like a
appear in
child. Don't
person.
understand. Guys, we got to jump over here. Licking is going on, and we've got a pretty good amount. I think we're done there, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
we're
think we pretty much nailed that down.
Did you receive, well, let's make sure. Yeah, I don't think you've actually entered a plea on this before. Did you get a copy? You didn't, because it's right here. I'll go ahead and read it for you. And I will give this to you when we're finished. Licking County Sheriff alleges that on or about August the 7th of this year at approximately in the city of Newark and Licking County, Ohio, that you did knowingly cause or create a substantial risk of physical harm to the property of another without that
Do it
person's
loud.
consent. It's commonly known as criminal damaging. It's a second-degree misdemeanor, carries up to a 90-day jail term, up to a $750 fine, along with the possibility of court costs and restitution being ordered. So do you understand all that?
Yes.
And how do you want to plead?
Not guilty.
All right, what's your current address?
you pull up Sap and them, see if
Charges too.
if time works out.
They was never pressed.
Circle
Okay.
back to that guy.
I went down to the sheriff department to get to that.
Look at this. We got a good cast of characters in the pews today.
Oh, packed house, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I pressed that.
Wrong pew pew.
I'm talking to the supervisor.
I was about to say that's what you need to do is talk to the higher, go up the chain of command on that. Okay.
That's right. You probably just asked her that. Jim. That dude wore me down too.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
Concrete.
He works at the Roadhouse, of course.
Is that local?
They're out of Cincinnati, but we work on some right side Creed Stadium right now.
You're working on a site next to Crew Stadium, or you're working on Crew
The
Stadium?
new one right side next to it.
Oh, very good. All right. Let's double check one thing here real quick.
Mikey's better at that than I am, Alex.
Absolutely.
Just get up with me. I'll give you his phone number.
Absolutely.
All righty. So we're going
Knox
to
is
enter your
good
not
too,
guilty
but-
plea at your request. And I'm going to modify your bond to a recognizance bond, which means who posted that on your behalf? It means presumably your father, Robert Schellenbach, he'll get his money back minus the fees and everything. But I'm going to convert this to a recognizance bond. All right.
Came in on a murder charge and leaving on a seatbelt charge.
Miss,
Welcome to
Worked
Lick.
worked out for him today.
Hello,
is Miss
Ghost.
Warner also, she does not reside out on Rockhaven. Okay.
Oh.
I said,
Oh.
cruiser.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Hold it together, internet.
Storm's rolling through Licking right now.
Her get out. They parked the vehicle back in my area, which that was the whole thing. She was late
Go on.
back in my parking area. I watched her walk up to my residence.
Mhm.
She going in there. And the best thing I got from that sheriff was, I don't know.
Well,
Mhm.
I think you mentioned it earlier, you're going to go up the chain of command to find out some things, and you certainly have the right to do that. As it pertains to this charge, as I mentioned, you'll be released on your own recognizance, which means the bond is going to be sent back to the person who posted it. If it was your money that he used to post it, you'd have to deal with him on that one. This will get randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. You'll get notice by mail of when that's going to be. You can hire counsel if you like. You can go for court appointed. The main thing is don't wait until the day of trial to deal with getting a lawyer. You have any questions? Records to reflect. I'm going to hand you your copy of the complaint, and you may go with the bailiff. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
Danielle Snow.
By the way, 130 of you with us. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe.
That's okay.
Notifications on.
She's got a first-degree murder charge here, so if you want to be her, that's fine.
See, here comes the seatbelt
All right.
ticket. Get
Okay,
ready. I
Mrs. Lee,
called
you
it.
understand your rights?
Yes.
All right. Did you get copies of the complaints?
Have them right here.
Yeah. Looks like you got two. One is failure to register a dog. The other one is failure to register a dog. So presumably they're talking
Both.
about two different dogs.
Yep.
Now they're claiming that you had prior convictions, so that elevates the seriousness of the offense from a minor misdemeanor to what we call an unclassified misdemeanor. That means you're facing up to 30 days, up to a $250 fine. Understand? How do you want to plead?
Yeah, I'm guilty of it.
Okay. Well, before I can accept your plea, I need to verify you understand that you have a right to a lawyer, and if you couldn't afford one, we give you one for free. Was it your intention to waive that right? Okay. Do you have a right to a trial?
It's registering a dog. How are you going to fight that?
The state has the burden of proof, and you get a trial. You have a right to cross-examine your accusers, subpoena your own witnesses, and decide whether or not to testify. And if you didn't, it doesn't.
Bedroom.
Now, if you plead guilty, you admit to committing the offenses. That means the state doesn't have to prove anything. You waive those rights, and we will proceed to
She's just sitting there going,
sentencing today, and then it'll be over.
And they do have.
She's licking her lip.
Yeah, I couldn't get them that day because of I was waiting on my check, but the boss don't usually do it until like 4:30.
Mhm.
So I couldn't.
That's fine.
Go
And
get
I'll
that
give you a
day,
chance.
So I did go the next.
Yeah, and I'll
day.
give you a chance to make a more detailed statement if you like, but I just need to
low-hanging fruit.
ask you more questions. Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you admit to committing the offenses?
I guess somebody from 3B.
And I will impose sentence.
Yeah, might as well.
Any questions about what the maximum possible penalties are?
Okay.
Have you been threatened in any way or promised anything to do this?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication? And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me take a quick look at the file, and then, as I said, I'll give you a chance to make a detailed statement if you like. Usually, we at least get one or two pictures. They're not always good pictures, but we usually get at least one or two. That's one of them upside
Couple of glamour shots of the
down.
dog.
Bear and Simba.
And how long have you had Bear and Simba?
Bear's about to be 4, and
Okay.
Simba's 2.
So pretty young.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Okay. Now they didn't give you a color copy.
Failure to register
They
your
pulled
dogs.
your records. They pulled the DMV records, and every picture you ever taken with the DMV they include. So I'm going to take a little quick walk down memory lane
Oh,
and see what you look like back over the years.
Back before meth got all
Certainly, you can't have copies of that, but you may not want to. I don't know.
No.
You said boss, so you work?
Yeah, I
What
work
do you
at 391 West Main Street.
What's that?
It'd be Incredible Pizza.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
you cooking?
I do everything there. I literally
Mhm.
have to, if I get to leave today, I literally have to go open shop. I have to do paperwork and I have to go make the deposits for him.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I don't think so. 20? No, she ain't no damn 23. Come on.
I'm not sure if I've ever put anybody in jail on a dog charge. I've been here too long to remember every single thing, but I remember they used to have some really
Taco
good.
Tuesday, but all this pizza talk has just got me going.
That's a joke, of course.
I don't try to, but I mean, when you work,
Pizza.
I
They're
literally
just-
live in a car behind the shop. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I work here.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing. Maybe pick up a few extra shifts because on each charge I'll impose a $50 fine and I'll order that you pay court costs. Any
Okay.
questions?
No,
All right. Very well. You may go with the bailiff and former deputy dog warden.
thank you.
Nobody
Zachary
makes
Daniels?
a pizza place.
Now it's you. Come on up. All right. You understand your rights in court today? Do your complaints because I have them right here. And there are actually 3 charges. So we'll go ahead and read those. In count 1, the Newark Police Department alleges that on or about August the 6th of this year within the city of Newark and Lincoln County, Ohio, that you did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to a family or household member. That's commonly known as domestic violence. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. It's up to 180 days, up to a $1,000 fine. In the second count, Newark Police Department alleges on the same date, same location, that you knowingly caused or attempted to cause physical harm to another. Also a first-degree misdemeanor known as assault, same penalties. It seems to me that this is probably 2 different theories of alleged events because the difference between the two is for domestic, they have to.
happened, is what you're saying?
No, they're saying one thing happened, but if they can't prove that the alleged victim was a family or household member, you cannot be found guilty of domestic violence, but you could be found guilty of assault. Okay. Now, the third count is criminal damaging. It's alleged that on or about that date and the location, you, without privilege to do so, knowingly moved. Oh, I'm sorry, it's criminal mischief. It's an M3. knowingly moved, defaced, damaged, destroyed, or otherwise improperly tampered with the property of another. As a third-degree misdemeanor, criminal mischief carries up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine. So do you understand that those are the charges?
Yes, sir.
And how do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
And what is your current address?
72 Conley Avenue.
And are you employed?
I am.
What do you do?
I work at McDonald's and the Spider-Man for kids' birthday parties.
Okay. And which McDonald's? do you work at?
Whoa!
On Church Street.
All right. And how long
He
you been there?
works at McDonald's
2 weeks now.
and he is a Spider-Man at kids' parties.
Give people.
Okay.
I make more money off of that than anything else.
I believe that.
Wow. He said he makes more money being Spider-Man than he does working at McDonald's. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. Yeah, it's very creaky and squeaky.
Okay. Now, I just happened to take a quick glance through the file, and it would appear that Ms. Dunlap was wearing a McDonald's shirt. Does she also work at the church?
She works at a different McDonald's.
Okay, all right, because that's going to have something to do with the bond that I'm going to set here today. All right.
Yeah, they moved. We don't work at the same one. I don't think we ever have. She came over every now and again, but other than that, that's how I met her.
McDonald's brought them together.
Kind of a side job right now.
Domestic violence will keep them apart.
Frame of power lining.
Sure.
I was working at Utilicon for about 6 months until the company crashed.
Oh, okay.
Where'd it crash at? Spider-Man, why are you hitting my mama? Good to see you, Pass. Pass, by the way, is our newest member. If you'd like to become a member and have access to all the emojis and things like that, all you got to do is hit the old join button for as little as $3 a month. You too can become a member. Well, I don't want to say.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, Mr. Daniels. I will go ahead and continue the recognizance bond that you signed off on. It looks like yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure when.
Yeah, it was a Sunday morning.
I will add the condition that you're not to have any contact with Ms. Dunlap. That's either directly, indirectly, through third parties via social media. Just no contact means no contact. If you violate that term and condition, your bond can be revoked. Set in.
Does he work at McDonald's?
Yeah. And so did the lady he beat up.
It's going to be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial.
Allegedly.
You'll be notified by mail, so make sure your address is correct on the bond paperwork. If you're going to be going for court-appointed counsel, do it today. If you're going to hire your own lawyer, start calling as soon as you get home.
He's also a
Do
Spider-Man.
you have any other questions today? All right, let the record reflect that I'm handing you your copies of the complaints. Those are yours to keep, and you may go with the deputy or with the bailiff.
I think that's
Thank you.
real.
Amber Russo.
I don't know. So Axum and them adjourned, and that attorney never came back. I just watched the whole thing.
Did you read it and understand it?
Huh.
You've been cited for disorderly conduct.
Sapp was there, but not
carries the maximum penalties of up to 30 days in jail, up to a $250 fine. How do you wish to plead?
Oh no!
No, no contest plea doesn't admit guilt.
Oh!
What they say happened is true.
Screwing it
What
up
they say
again.
happened is enough to sustain the charge of disorderly conduct
Myrtle
as
Beach.
filed, specifically recklessly causing inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm by creating a condition that is physically offensive to persons or that presents a risk of physical harm to a person by any act that serves no lawful and reasonable purpose after reasonable request to desist. I will find you guilty of that. Understand? You have a right to an
Skip,
attorney.
you better be
24/1.
careful,
We give you one
Coach.
for free. Was it your intention to waive that right? You have a right to a trial with a judge or a jury where you could confront your accusers and subpoena your own witnesses and elect whether to testify or not, with your decision not to take the stand unable to be used against you. Understand that?
Yes.
Plea of guilty or no contest doesn't admit guilt. We've gone over that, but you will relieve the state of any burden of proof. Meaning they won't have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt for me to find you guilty.
Oh, we love the porn bots around here.
Um, If I accept your plea and enter conviction, I'm going to impose sentence upon you today. Did you have any questions?
We don't
about
love them so much that we want them here all the time, though.
that? Have you been threatened in any way? or
Fun when
prompted
they
you should do this?
casually stop by, though, you know.
Are you under the influence of anything right now? And are you a citizen of the United States of America? All right, let me take a quick look at the file, and then if you want to, you'll be allowed to make a statement before I impose sentence.
All right, so we got about 15 minutes. And one thing about membership, don't forget, Friday at 6 o'clock, members only. We do it every Friday, and today, this week is going to be something special. We're going to do a Poor Sports, right?
That's right. A show that some of you may remember and some of you may not. So make sure you're there. It's
But it's
not
kinda
just about
fun,
sports. It's about everything.
Yeah, Mike, you're gonna pull a couple. I got a couple really good ones. So we'll do that for members only, and kind of a hybrid, as they say. Hybrid. What's that? The hybrid.
The hybrid.
Because we're gonna do a little walk through Sturgis as well. A bird's eye view of the cameras that we usually watch, and a walk through with some really good food and some boobs. Boobs. And we still got lots of time. So we'll tell you about 405 East. We got a chase coming up next.
A lot of reading, Creed.
2 for Tuesday. I love it because he just don't, whenever he says that, we know we've got a little bit of time.
I can hear his mind just turning. He's thinking.
If only I could touch this girl's hair.
She does have beautiful hair. Hi, Ann. Speaking of beautiful hair, hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Domestic violence situation. Me and my boyfriend, my living boyfriend, and my phone had gotten broken. So
By
I
him?
had left and came home, and my phone and my purse was on the table where it was. So I went over to his mom's house to ask if they had it.
You want me to call Knox during members only? I
She
will.
didn't, and came towards me. I had been drinking. Came towards me, backed me up to the door. I pushed her,
I've been drinking.
left immediately.
Do you have do you currently have a children's services case open?
No, it
There
should be
was-
closed.
There was a mention.
There was, yes, with the domestic violence.
Oh, because that doesn't, she doesn't look good in front of the court when she's spouting off about the live-in boyfriend when you've got an open
Amber then
case
went
like
into
that.
a children's services case that she said she has. So this would have been as recently as last July 3rd.
I
right?
would be.
So this was over a month ago.
It's since been closed.
What's the status of the charges against Mr. Van Kirk?
Oh, what a great last name.
Going to a jury trial. I haven't gotten anything.
I'll tell you, come up here to the Van Kut Manor and assault his mother. Penelope Van Kut.
About 2 years.
And you have a child together?
Yes, should be a year from next month.
Sounds like the Van Kurts may be taking that kid.
Just by the name alone.
Yeah.
They must have some money. I bet they vacationed in Bryson City, Tennessee.
Probably.
I bet they get on that damn train and just
Mr. Van
like
Kirk
nothing.
capitalized the K in his name.
Awesome. Pocket change.
They buy extra seats like on an airplane.
Put the
Just
feet
have
up.
to- oh,
What all do you have to do for children's services?
I had to complete a mental health evaluation.
Okay.
But I'm currently seeing a psychiatrist, so
Okay.
that counted.
so have fun voting, Carol.
I'm gonna enroll back in counseling, group counseling.
When you come back, we'll have
What is
a
your little girl's name?
poll for you to vote on. Maybe.
Hopefully. She's not looking too good for her. By the way,
No,
it's 106 people and only 68 of you like this video. Please do us a favor and like this video.
Okay.
That's terrible.
It's awful.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of grades do you have?
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite color?
You ever dated an older man?
All right. Well, I think
You
you're
like
going to
men
benefit
of
from
authority?
some of the terms that I'm going to have you follow here. Having accepted your plea of no contest, having reviewed the case file, I find that there is sufficient basis to warrant a conviction. So I'll enter a guilty finding and suspend a 30-day jail term. I'm going to put you on probation for a year. I'm going to order that you do undergo the mental health evaluation. And if you've already done that, you get records of that, show to the probation department. That should be enough for them, but you go on what they say, not what I say. I'm also going to have you undergo a drug and alcohol assessment just to make sure that we don't have any issues there, because if you do have both issues, all the research says you have to deal with both of them simultaneously, or you're not going to be able to deal with either one of them successfully.
I completed a drug and alcohol treatment. I got 3 years clean.
Congratulations. Just bring whatever documentation you have with your first meeting with your probation officer. All right. You're not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You're to maintain suitable employment, and I'll impose a $150 fine. I will order that you pay the court costs. However, I'm going to suspend $100 of the fine, so it's going to be a $50 fine.
Membership has its privileges, Richard. You come and go as you please.
As a result of our
And
conversation,
no Niner today. No
too
Niner.
much of the details.
Never seen a grown man naked.
Mr. Van Kirk's case has been assigned to me, scheduled for a jury trial. On that basis, it'll be necessary for me to recuse myself, and I'll be transferring the matter over to Judge George. Doesn't really affect you at all, but I want the record to reflect that because you and I discussed the matter and the case is assigned to me, it's not appropriate.
Geez, Stephen O'Neill.
That being said,
it's not appropriate that he does it. Wow.
Yeah, it's like he said, don't listen to me, listen to them.
Yeah.
You hear that from a judge
It's
very
not
often.
necessary. You can, I mean, Miss Kyle can have you sign it on your way down to the clerk's
I
office.
think we have video of what's going on inside of Judge Stansbury's head this
Any other
very
questions?
minute.
I can't get up. I can't get up.
All right, next we have Justin Music.
Justin Music.
Really? That's a real name?
Come on in, Mr. Music.
Or is that his
Can you write your
YouTube
report today?
handle?
Can I have your rights form, please?
Justin Music.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. So I'll give those back to you. Your case has already been assigned to you. You've already entered a plea of not guilty. You have two options. You can stand on your plea of not guilty, in which case I'll release you on your own recognizance today, and we'll go ahead and get a new court date for you. Or if you want to change your plea from not guilty to guilty or no contest, you can resolve it today. It's entirely up to you. It's an unclassified misdemeanor. There's no possible jail time involved with this offense.
Is it just a fee?
There's a possibility of a fine. There's a possibility of community service hours. There's a possibility of a suspension of your license for up to 1 year. However, none of those penalties are mandatory. Understand? So how do you want to do it?
Oh, well, I'd rather just do guilty, get it over with.
That's fine.
I am a full-time employee.
Sure.
Manager.
You don't have to do that. You're presumed to be innocent. The state has the burden of proof. You have a right to a trial.
Where do you
Plead guilty,
work?
You admit to committing the offense. And
That's
obviously,
coming.
take consideration as mitigation or circumstances, any evidence you have regarding.
It's not a music store. I'm afraid to say.
You will give up those rights if you plead guilty. They understand?
If he's not a
And,
DJ at the local bar, I'm gonna be
Music, are you a citizen of the United States? I am. All righty. So you are valid.
Yes, I am valid.
Okay. And where do you work?
I work at Arby's in Eva.
The one on 79?
Yes.
So why don't get rid of the potato patties? I have to ask.
And why did you get rid of the burger? The burger was great.
All right.
And I went and looked the other day. I was going to order one.
I paid child support in full.
Okay, so there was a child. It was just a child support suspension. All right.
I have to work.
I had such high expectations for this dude.
Did he just say I have to work?
I know. I mean, trust me, I hear that excuse a lot. I mean, I'm not completely unsympathetic to it, but at the same time, you make your own bed, you gotta lie, right? Right. Okay. Now, because you're able to get valid, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to impose any fine, but I'm going to order that you pay the court costs. Furthermore, it looks like when you were cited, you showed proof of insurance, so that's taken care of. I'll reflect that that's been satisfied, so you don't have to worry about another suspension from the Bureau. But if you fail to pay off your court costs on this, we will put on forfeiture and you're back in the same boat. So, any other questions today?
No, sir.
All right, you may go with the bailiff. Good luck. James Schuster.
Bring the rooster to the front of the courtroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, Schuster the Rooster live in court.
Understand your rights today? All right, I'll take that from you. Thank you, sir. Did you get a copy of your complaints? Yours would have been white. Yeah.
How
did you read them?
racist.
Do you understand what they said? What it is you've been charged with? It looks like they're claiming that you failed to obtain a dangerous dog registration. That's a misdemeanor of the first degree. The maximum penalty there is up to 30 days in jail, up to a $250 fine. And then they've also
Dangerous dog
registry, which is an unclassified misdemeanor, but they don't mention that you previously did that. So there's no jail time there, just the possibility of a fine of up to $1,000.
Whoa!
Community service. That's it. Not
Jesus.
mandatory. Understand? How do you want to plead to the charges? Go ahead.
I don't think the dog's dangerous.
The law.
Oh my God, yeah, wait till
the
they-
law applies to either an
He's been
owner,
shot!
keeper, or a harborer, and those terms actually have meanings and definitions. Owner is the person who registered the dog with the county treasurer.
Somebody drilled him in the back of the head, literally?
A keeper of the dog is a person who is physically in control of the dog. And then a harbor of a dog is somebody who has control over property that allows the dog to be there. So those are what it applies to. So it doesn't necessarily, they don't necessarily have to prove that it's your dog, that you registered it and everything's in your name.
I don't know the dog, Your Honor.
Okay.
Trying to find
A home?
in order to register it as a dangerous dog.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get stuff done.
Yeah, you got to get an insurance bond and
Is he literally a butthead?
It's required. So, well, if you want to plead guilty, which you
Butthole
don't have
head?
to, I need to make sure you understand that you will be giving up some rights. Not the least of which is your right to an attorney. If you couldn't afford one, we give you one for free. Was it your intention to waive that right? You just want to resolve it today? Okay. You have a right to a trial with a judge or a jury. You have a right to confront your accusers, subpoena your own witnesses, decide whether or not to testify. And if you didn't, it doesn't count against you. You understand that you enjoy all of those rights. You're presumed to be innocent of the charges. The state has the burden of proof, but a plea of guilty admits guilt. That means they don't have to prove anything, and you'll give up those rights. I'll simply impose sentence today. And
Welcome back.
Understand? Now, Mr. Schuster, you've been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to do this? Are you under the influence of anything right now?
No.
And are you a U.S. citizen? Anything else you want to add to what you told me already about the dog situation?
He is. He's wearing his nice Carhartt shirt.
Well, do they relate to this case?
I think so.
What are they?
They got another court date for me on the 16th.
Okay. This is alleged to have occurred on July the 8th. So it's possible you can get cited if you continue to not have the dog registered or the dangerous dog registration. They can cite you again. So I don't know the circumstances of that case, but make sure you show up for court that day.
That's
when
one
did you
of
say
my
you're coming back?
favorites.
I doubt it would be 8:30 because that would be traffic arraignments. It might be 12:45, but that's a week from today. So we can have Miss Kyle pull your file when you go down to the clerk's office. If it's a situation where you haven't been arraigned yet and you want to deal with it today, we can do that. But I can at least advise you. I can find out what it is exactly that's pending.
Vince, at the back of his head, he's got a butthole or a charging port. I'm not sure. See it? I can't unsee it.
I can tell you what it is. I just draw it. Are you kidding me? Just draw them and
Alleged
freeze them.
that on a certain date that you didn't have the dog registered, and technically, theoretically, they could charge you in separate counts for every day that you don't.
Ooh.
My experience has been they'll usually say you need to have this done by a certain day, and if you don't, we're going to come back. So, yeah. And we don't need to get into that just this moment, but if we do pull that file, you do
You
decide
think the dog did something to get itself classified as a dangerous animal?
the circumstances and everything, but until and unless.
Well, I'm guessing it was
That's why we're
a,
not talking about that anymore. Okay. Do you work? Are you employed?
you know, one
How
of
long
them
you
bad
been,
ones.
receiving benefits? Quite a while. What kind of work did you do before you were hurt? Oh, okay. Who did you work for?
Arby's.
Freelance kind of thing. Okay.
I worked at McDonald's. Lifer.
I'll go for Lisa got it just
Expenses, penalties,
seconds
deductibles,
before
leftover
Captain
parts,
Happy.
You don't know where they're supposed to go.
The dog is wanted in 6 states for murder.
Yeah, it's.
The dog is wanted for domestic violence.
All right. So it looks like you have what? Layla is the dog's name?
Layla.
Bite me on my knee, baby.
Does that look like her?
Last time I saw her, she had a hand in her mouth, so I don't know.
By the way, those wonderful drawings, we call them NFTs here, and over on our Discord, all the way down at the bottom is where the NFT ownership claim is. So you take a screenshot, and whoever's the first person to put it on there in that spot is the rightful owner, just so you know. It's something that we do around here. In most of them, now they'll pop up in other shows that we do. For the most part, it's exclusive to We Got a Case. And that one was one of my favorites.
Oh my
God.
God. My drawing is getting so bad lately. I thought it would improve.
I believe that. If your dog is classified as one of those,
All right. All right, here's what we're going to do, Mr. Schuster. On the failure to obtain the dangerous dog registration, it's going to be a $50 fine in court costs. On the failure to obtain the registration, it'll be a $25 fine. You'll get time to pay it off. They'll tell you exactly how much it is and when it's due when you get down there to the clerk's office. And if there is another case pending, they'll bring you back here to the courtroom and we'll address that at that time. All right. Any other questions? All right. You may go with the bailiff.
I tried to draw Layla, but just didn't work out.
There's a case down there and we're able to locate it and it's pending for just an arraignment, yes, you'll come back today.
So bad.
Right now. Okay. Jeremy Barham.
Stephanie, probably one of those Google Assist bullshit or something.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barham.
Did you say something bad?
You understand your rights?
Did you say something about a knife?
Because it takes a lot for any of our mods to actually take action. Trust me.
Here. Dropped. Okay. Did you get a copy of the ticket? Did you read it and understand?
Mod did anything. I
For operating a vehicle while impaired and driving outside the marked lanes of the roadway. Now, they're alleging that this would be a second offense within a 10-year period, so the penalties would be as those described on the video. Did you understand that information? And the marked lanes violation is a
get up with Mad Cave.
Fine as a minor misdemeanor. How do you wish to plead? Okay. And are you employed?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work at Ball Metal Pack out on Robert Trip.
Unless you want an NFT, then hit them up in the Discord.
Okay. All right. All right. You didn't have an accident, at least they're not alleging you did. Is the GMC insured?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I meant to bring insurance today. Sorry, but my
there was no accident, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, my lawyer.
That dude's got the skinniest arms.
All right. I'm going to continue the bond that was previously posted on your behalf. So you don't get any money back just yet, but you also don't have to put any more money up to stay out of jail. All right. The case will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial until unless said attorney gets involved by filing a formal notice of appearance. All notices are going to go directly to you. So make sure your address on the bond paperwork that you're going to sign off on again today is complete and correct. And then if you ultimately determine that either you don't want to hire that attorney or you don't have the means to hire the attorney, make sure you get the application for court-appointed counsel turned in well before your next court hearing. So that being said, do you have any additional questions today? All right, tell you what, have a seat there in the front row and the bailiff's going to be with you in a moment. Thank you. All right, you better be Mr. Bowers Stone King or we're both in trouble.
Speaking of being in trouble, we got a big boomer heading our way. It's getting dark and I hear it
May I have your rights form, please?
creeping
Thank
up
you.
on me.
Did you get a copy of the two complaints? Yeah, you don't have to have them with you. And even if you did, you don't need to show them to me. I believe you. Did you read them? You understand what it is you've been charged with? Looks like it's 2 counts of failure to confine dogs. One was, they're both alleged to be
Most dog problems today.
They're alleging that there were 2 separate dogs. Yeah. Okay. So they're both unclassified misdemeanors. It looks like, yeah, they're alleging that you have previous convictions for the same offense. So what that does
a good
is
point.
It increases the seriousness of the offense from a fine only to the possibility of up to 30 days jail, up to a $250 fine. So do you understand? And how do you want to plead? And a no contest plea doesn't admit guilt. It does, in fact, however, and it can't be used against you later on, but it does admit the truth of the facts alleged. And so when I read this, if there's enough in there that says they got out, I'm going to find you guilty. Understand? You have the right to be represented by counsel. You're eligible to ask the court to give you one for free. And if you qualified based upon your income and expenses, we do that. We give it to you. Was it your intention to waive the right? Okay. You have a right to a trial with a judge or a jury. You have a right to confront your accusers, as well as a right to compel the attendance of your own witnesses at the trial. And you have a constitutional right not to testify. Nobody could make it. If you did, it would be held against you. Understand? If you plead guilt or no contest, even though you're not admitting guilt, the state no longer has to overcome your presumption of innocence, and you waive those other rights. And we'd simply proceed to sentencing. Have you been subjected to any threats, promises, or offers of reward to get you to do what you're doing? Are you under the influence of anything right now? And are you a citizen of the United States? All right, let me take
I
a
like
quick
that
look at
question.
the
Are you under the influence, man?
I was actually going to go mow my grass, and I was going to the gas station. I live kind of right by Marco's Pizza. Dietrich is like
Marco's. They got the little pepperoni cups that hold the grease.
What's he? What's the rooster still waiting on?
He let them out, and as I was coming back, my
His
neighbor
ride.
who lives kind of up the road, he was already there. The puppies were literally only 3 months old, and the lady who was running, she saw the dogs, and she kind of just called the dog warden, and they came. And
The dog warden.
We corralled them, and when they came there, they were already in my house. It was not like, and before the conviction, before when they got out was, I was building my fence in my yard. I just moved up there in the house. And I have my backyard and I would monitor and let them go out. But my kids let them out. They ran underneath to where the fence wasn't done and got out there. And that was back in, I want to say October last year, or like July last year, around fireworks time. But they've never been anything or done anything crazier.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any allegations that they caused any injury to any other dogs or people. Is the breeding your primary source of income?
No, I also do dog training as well. But as of right now, my dad owns Stone King Distributors, which is basically they do like a little Debbie independent trucking. So I've been helping him with that.
So he's a dog breeder by trade.
Displays, different things like that.
Okay.
Ew.
All right.
Yes, Stephanie. I look back too. I don't know what it is. It could be a YouTube thing. Definitely not anything happening in the chat though.
I got everything up to date and registered and tags and everything. So.
All right.
Damn you, YouTube.
And I kind of try to tell him that too. Like my son, he's used to seeing them go out, and he's got a thing with doors now. So he wants to like open them and close them, open them and close them. Sorry, and they're puppies. So when they got out, they were like, "Oh, I want to go see the neighbors. I want to go play."
Do you have any other children?
Yeah, I have a 10-year-old and I have a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Have they ever been bitten by the dog?
Their first thing was, let's get my son back inside.
Not last week or so.
Like, I'll get the dogs just go inside.
What about your son? He come out and bit that lady. Oh, love is in the air.
Coffee shop owner got the dog from this dude.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do on each of the charges. It'll be a $50 fine. I'll already pay court costs. Any questions?
Welcome back.
All right. Tell you what. Have a seat there in the front row until the bailiff's ready to take you down to the clerk's office, and she'll be with you in a moment. Thank you.
Wow,
Mr.
look at this.
Schuster, it looks like you're scheduled for a bench trial. Come on up.
That's why I said love is in the
You had
air.
written in asking for a continuance of your arraignment. Instead of just dragging it out, I went ahead and entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. It was then randomly assigned to me. So what we're scheduled for on next Tuesday is a trial to the court on the allegation of
there it is again.
Failure to license a dog. Now, there's only one count on this case, and it's a minor misdemeanor, so the maximum penalty is a $150 fine. If you want, you can just stand on your plea of not guilty, and we'll come back next Tuesday, and we'll have the trial, and they'll have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the offense. If you want to resolve it today by entering a plea of guilty or no contest, you can do that as well. So it's entirely up to you how you want to resolve it. How do you want to go forward today?
Guilty.
Okay. All those questions that I asked you before also apply, except in this case, because there's no jail time, you're not eligible for a jury trial, and you're not eligible to ask the court to appoint an attorney for you. Do you understand? All right. But everything else would be the same questions, and everything else is still the same, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to say about this occasion back in May?
It's the same.
Same thing?
Same.
Okay. Same thing. So this is the one that he was referring to when he said, well, I've talked to you about 50 days ago and you still hadn't taken care of it. Yeah. Okay.
What it was a woman come our home. And I said, well, you come in and stay for a while. And when she come in and put her bags down, a little puppy jumped up. And I said, whoa, you gotta put that dog up. And I even gave her my bedroom that had a door on it.
Mm-hmm.
All night. She kept bringing that dog out.
I'm sorry he's so low. That's a great story.
She opened the door one time and it shot between her legs.
How old did you say Layla is?
Was he just describing what I think he did?
All right. Well, oddly enough, even though we're hearing the second, this occurred first, and because you didn't have any priors, when this got cited, it'll only be a $25 fine plus the court costs. And again, we'll give you some time to get it taken care of. So, any questions? All right, very well. Tell you what, just have a seat there in the front row, and in a moment, the bail's going to come through that door, and she's going to take you down to the clerk's office. But this time, after you're finished there, you'll get to go. All right.
Come in there, and she sat down and
court will stand in recess, and we're going to go
opened
off the
the
record.
bag. Your Honor, she opened the bag, and I was like,
Whoa.
you gotta close that bag. You can't let that puppy out. And next thing you know, it's shooting between her legs.
That is what he said, right?
That is exactly what he said.
I thought so. What? Something about some
Yeah, and they've already been snatched up. Fred Franklin, thanks so much for the 5 memberships you dropped off here. Congratulations to Captain Happy. Congratulations to Chris, Nigel, Mama Bear, and Susan, all picking up 1 month free membership. Oh, it's going to be a great week, great month for you, as a matter of fact. Buy a lottery ticket. So look.
Sweet. Stephanie, I wanted to say to that, every once in a while, we on our channel, we deal with a lot that probably sets off the YouTube/Google, what is it? Google Assist moderators. That would be my guess. I could be wrong. But that's usually is Mikey Creed framed or am I? What is happening? This is fun. I'm not used to a Mikey frame. I don't have anything for that. And he's gone. We only have this. Oh, that's all I got. And I got a bad storm here. I would have expected it to be me. To look like I did too. All right, guys, we're wrapping it up anyways. It is time to go. 4:05 East, 105 Pacific time. We got a chase coming up next on the channels. 2 for Tuesday. If Mikey's still alive. That's too funny. I was not ready for that. Maybe it's
Isn't happy hour anytime?
If it's happy hour, I don't know. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for all the comments and the likes, subs, and all that.
Good afternoon. I'm District Judge Herman Marable from 67th District Court here in Flint.
Let's see you guys at 4:05.